me to start?
What was it like having to, I guess, do the weight cut twice and all the hype leading up to this fight with Melvin?
The weight cut twice sucks because I was in cut mode for a little over a month, but it sucked just as bad for him, so no excuses. It was a horrible experience, but I'm just glad I won the fight and me and Melvin can be boys again.
You guys look like you started the bromance already at the end of the fight there.
You know what, we're both very emotional guys. We fight with our hearts on our sleeves. We come out there to put on a show every single time, and to get all the way to that point where we're gonna fight within a matter of an hour and a half and have that rug pulled out from underneath you, I can understand how upsetting that can be and how disappointing, because he was looking to get that fight in and out of the way, enjoy his holidays with his family, and it was tough. So I understand he was upset. I'm just glad we can be cool again, because I've always been a big fan of Melvin. And he hits really hard. He's a very tough guy. He doesn't get as much credit as he deserves.
Can you walk me through the pile driver?
Honestly, I just didn't want to let go of him, have him hit me again. That guy hits really hard. So I held onto that leg, and if I let him go, I know I was going to probably be eating a knee or some punches or whatever. So I just came up with it and slam on his head, hopefully maybe get a bonus or get something out of it. We'll see. Maybe, I don't know, slam of the year or something.
What led up to all the animosity between you two?
It was just that not making weight thing. He was just upset. Like I said, we were both very emotional fighters, and we got to within like an hour and a half of when we were supposed to go out on stage and fight, and to have that rug pulled out from underneath him, all that preparation, all that sacrifice that goes into a training camp. People don't realize to be a professional athlete in any sport, there's so much sacrifice that goes into it. I mean, even like the top musicians, they have to sacrifice so much, to be a struggling fighter, a struggling musician. You have to give up a certain part of your life, and he sacrificed a lot to make that weight and to come in and fight and to have the rug pulled out from underneath him. It made him upset, and I understand. I totally understand. That's why I didn't react. I didn't make any comments on what he had to say. I totally understood. I knew that we were going to get the opportunity to squash our beef, and we did.
Did it ever happen to you before, a situation like that you had to pull out or have somebody do that?
First time ever in my career. I've had over 30 fights since the first time I've ever not been able to fight, and it wasn't my decision. I was still going to fight. Joe Silva came into the bathroom and was like, and Keith Kaiser, and they're like, dude, we can't let you go out there like this. I'm like, just give me 30 more minutes. Let me see if I can keep some water down or whatever. I was still gonna fight. I didn't care, win or lose. We got to that point. I wanted to go out there and put on a show. I had my friends and family. A lot of people came down to support me. And Joe's like, I can't have you go out there like this. Joe Silva told me I could not go out there. So it wasn't my decision. I didn't even really want to talk about it. I didn't want to tell anybody I wasn't feeling good because I didn't want people to think I was making excuses or whatever. But the word got out and it happened. Whatever, I'm okay with it.
Jamie, what was the situation with he tweeted that you had maybe accused him of greasing or something like that? What happened?
If you guys recall the fight with him and Fabricio Camoes, Joe Rogan made a comment about trying to hold on to Melvin was like trying to catch a salmon with your bare hands, something along those lines. So he made a comment about him being slippery. My trainer, we watch a lot of video obviously on Melvin, and my trainer made a comment that he's been known to be a little slippery. If you guys could just check him to make sure that he's not putting Vaseline on or lotion or whatever before he goes out there. That's all that was said. I was right there. I heard my trainer ask the question. And then I saw the tweets and I had people blowing up my phone calling me like, you said he was greasing. I never made a comment. My trainer, that's his job. My job is to go out there and fight whoever the UFC puts in front of me. That's my job. I don't care if he's greasing, if he's got 7 toes, I don't care. I got to go out there and do my job no matter what, because that's why I signed on the dotted line saying that I was going to do. But it was my trainer's job. He saw the video where Joe Rogan made that comment, and it got blown out of proportion. But like I said, we handled all of our differences tonight, and he was a slippery dude.
Joe actually made the comment again tonight. That's why I'm asking. Because did you feel it? Did you feel that he was?
We're both sweaty, and I went for a couple positions at Peruvian necktie. 9 times out of 10 in training, I get that move. But we're also wearing, t-shirts, rash guards, stuff like that. So I got a little bit more grip. But for him to get out of that, and that's like kind of one of my moves. If I get you in it, you're toast. And he got out. And Melvin isn't known to be the jiu-jitsu defensive ace of the planet of the UFC, right? I mean, me and him are both susceptible to submissions. That's how we both primarily lose. And when he slipped down, I'm like, God dang it! And then I jumped on his back one time. I slipped over the top of him. He's a slippery dude, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, yeah, he was all waxed and greased. Now we were sweating. He had a good sweat. He was well hydrated, and you know what, I still got the win. I don't care.
Your gas tank looked really good in this fight. What did you do differently in preparation for this one opposed to the last one?
Don't tell anybody, because Trevor Lally going to go crazy. He's been getting on my case about running. I did a lot more long distance running. I've always been a very anaerobic person, just in general, athlete. I was a sprinter for swimming. I was in wrestling. We had 2-minute rounds or 3-2-2 or 2. So I'm used to going hard for that 2 or 3 minutes, being able to rest. So I was born a sprinter. My mother was a sprinter, and I'm a much more of a fast twitch muscle fiber guy. So this training camp, I did a lot more running and just a lot more distance. I would do 3, 4, 5 miles, and just to get more of an anaerobic conditioning. And I think that made the difference in this fight. But the reason why I did, because we wanted to use a lot more footwork, a lot bouncing on our toes in and out to try and set up my takedowns and my punches. Even though I stood in front of them for most of that fight, I think the conditioning overall, I felt good. As the fight got on, I got more confident that I was going to be able to win the fight as the rounds went by. But to answer your question, I did a lot more road work, a lot more distance running for this fight.
Jamie, where do you go from here? And what happened to your shin, dude?
I don't know. Well, I checked one of his kicks, because I don't think I kicked too much. He kicked me. I checked him. He didn't like it, so it slowed him down a little bit. But obviously, I got a little hematoma and a little bit of blood coming out. But yeah, that was just it. And where do I go from here? Honestly, guys, I don't know if my performance makes me quite deserve the fight that I want next. But as you guys can see, when I have a full training camp underneath my belt, my conditioning is a lot better. I feel a lot better. I look a lot better. So I would really like to get that fight back with Joe Lauzon. Now, I don't care whether he wins or loses. I would really like to fight Joe Lauzon again. He's a very tough fighter. I'm not going to take anything away from his performance last time, but my college wrestling coach watched that fight, and he called me up after, and he's like, dude, you look great. Honestly, to me, it looked like you probably needed about another 2 weeks of training, and I mean, the proof is right there in the pudding. I think, a couple more weeks, a little bit longer of a training camp, and that fight would have gone my way. But like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses. Joe did a great job. He's a very crafty vet. I watched his little video when they were talking about how he was preparing for me and how he's used to my double leg being on one side, and his sweep technique that he did. I mean, that was perfect. He had a great game plan for me, and it worked well. But that's a fight that I want back, because I really think I can win that fight, and why not have another fight of the year type performance for 2013?
And Jamie, is Donald Cerrone still on your radar at all?
I don't care. Donald who? I don't care. He's got his hands full with Anthony Pettis, so I'm not worried about Donald Cerrone. I don't care. He's doing a great job. Him and Ben, those guys are really making me look good. Guys I've beat and lost to from the WC coming over here and making waves in the UFC is really making me look good. So I'm happy for them. If I have to fight him, I'd love to. Obviously, we got that rubber match, but I think I got a lot of work to do. I got to earn that shot against him, because he's done so well in the UFC. You guys got it?
Yeah.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you guys so much.